Watching Mrs. Doubtfire is like losing a testicle. Yeah, you do still get to keep one of your testicles, so it's not the worst thing that could happen. However, in the end, you still lost a testicle, and you must live with that. Forever. When the movie begins, we get introduced to Daniel Hilliard, portrayed by Robin Williams. We immediately begin to see that he's a goofy man who lives for his children. However, his childish acts are a little bit too much for his wife, so she kicks him out and files for a divorce. Daniel is then forced to change his lifestyle if he wishes to see his kids again. However, he can't really take being away from his children. So, he comes up with the elaborate scheme of dressing up as a nanny to be part of his children's lives. As a child, I loved Mrs. Doubtfire. Robin Williams was always sure to please with his wacky comedy and his funny voices. It's still a pretty funny movie. In fact, there are several jokes that I can appreciate now as an adult that I really couldn't as a child. Like when Daniel's hitting on girls in his Mrs. Doubtfire suit. However, that doesn't take away from the fact that this movie is far from perfect. There are some glaring faults. One of these faults, however, was not the pacing. This movie ran roughly 2 hours, and at no time was I bored. On the other hand, one of the big problems... a comedy is only as good as the actors behind it, and Mrs. Doubtfire really leaves me on the fence. Unsurprisingly, Robin Williams owned his role, as both Mrs. Doubtfire and Daniel Hilliard. He showed both sides of the character perfectly. And not only was he hilarious with both roles, at times he really pulled your heartstrings. On the other hand, the rest of the cast, meh. Sarah Field's character, Miranda Hilliard, was completely agitating due to her selfish need to bang a rich, smug asshole. That rich, smug prick, played by Pierce Brosnan, didn't even have a personality. And the child actors didn't bother me too much. Except the youngest. I know good child actors are hard to come by, but come on. This kid was less convincing than Jeremy Irons in Dungeons and Dragons.
Get up! Prepare to fight again! Move that crossbow! Aim for their wings, you fool!
Okay, maybe not that bad. When it came to things like the camera work, the score, or the lighting, nothing really popped out. The music seemed good enough, but it bordered on the line of cliche. The Blu-ray quality was a little bit better than the DVD, but overall the picture was still pretty grainy, and the sound quality wasn't much better. However, these aspects weren't really that good to begin with, so it's kind of hard to pull something good out of something that's not so good. There was one saving grace in the presentation, and that was the makeup used on Mrs. Doubtfire. V. Nail led the makeup department, and to say she did an amazing job would be an understatement. In fact, she even got an Academy Award for her work on the makeup in Mrs. Doubtfire. However, even with her attached, it can't really make up for the fact that every other area in the presentation field was completely unoriginal. Because of this, I have to conclude the fact that either the directing was really lazy, or there was a lot of interference on the producer's side, and it really took away from the tone of the film. Overall, the movie's funny and entertaining. I always found myself with a smile on my face. However, that's only because of Robin Williams. Almost every other aspect of this movie fell short. Mrs. Doubtfire is not the movie of the century, but it is certainly worth buying on Blu-ray. On sale. Taking that all into account though, I have to give Mrs. Doubtfire a 6 out of 10. Whether you agreed or disagreed, I want to hear your thoughts, guys. And also, hit that subscribe button right there. I'm Zack from Battlefront Productions. Until next time.